Okay, welcome back. About a week or so ago, I posted a community post that was a poll asking if you guys would rather see me use the wax stamps or the Chroma Glaze, and I got 7 entries or voters, and it looks like more people would rather see the Chroma Glaze, and I just assume that that data set is indicative of, you know, a lot of viewers. So even though it was only 7, I was actually excited to get 7. I didn't know if it was going to work. So anyway, let me get set up here. So I'm going to go ahead today and try out the Brutus Monroe Chroma Glaze. These two are, I'm not sure, this one's purple, this one's teal. It looks a little more blue on the screen that I'm looking at. But, so I'm going to use these with this stencil, and I'm going to do 2 things. First, I'm going to try it out on white cardstock, and then I'm going to do it on black cardstock. And I'm going to lay out first this Teflon craft sheet, and I'm going to go ahead and put a couple pieces of tape down to tape it down. Just a piece of tape up there, maybe one right here. Let's see. This is just low-tack mint scrapbook.com tape. And I'm assuming that I want to tape this guy down as well. I had considered using a double-sided or a 2-way adhesive, so repositionable, and putting it on the back. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to tape this down a couple of places. And I'll probably cut this down to, once it's dry, to create a number of backgrounds. So here's the stencil that I'm using. It's also Brutus Monroe Mixed Media Stencil. Whoop, there we go. And this one is called Circle Tone. I think 1 piece of tape might be good for this. Since I have the paper already taped down and everything, shouldn't move around too much. Of course, I'm just guessing. So, got my distress knives. I can figure out how to open them. These are plastic. And they are, I think it was like $3 for this package. I thought it would be nice to have 2 different styles since you don't want to have the wrong kind of tool and it affect how the outcome and how I feel about, you know, pastes altogether. So I don't really use pastes either, or any of these kind of mediums. So this is my first time using them. I'm just going to go ahead, I think, and open these up and take a look. I have a little topper. I don't know why, but I smelled it because I think it looks like one of those yogurt lids. So I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to mix it or anything, but I could be wrong. I feel like if it looked separated, I might mix it, but this seems like it's pretty consistent. So I'm just going to go for it. I'll try to get as much of this image as possible Whoa, it goes a long way. I probably didn't need that much. I think I'll do just about half. With the blue or the teal. And of course I'm not prepared because I don't have anything to wipe this off with. So let me grab a tissue. Shove the rest of that in there. And next. So at the end of this video, I am going to ask a question. If you guys could check that out and comment about some older supplies that I found. And also don't forget that I am in my last video, which is the Let's Make a Book part 2. I am hosting a giveaway of the Cartabella bundle. So check that out. To enter that, you need to go to that video, watch the video, and then comment in the comments of that particular video. And I'll go ahead and link that here so it's easy to find. And I grabbed a lot less this time, and I think what I'll do is I will start over on this side. So I want to do as much as I can. Oh, look, I already got it under there. I think the paper that I'm using, so it's not mixed media paper, it is regular cardstock, and I think it's starting to warp and absorb some of the liquid, some of the moisture, but we'll see how that goes. I wanted to get all of these freestanding dots first, and then add some to the middle so that I can kind of try to mix it a little bit. And of course, I don't know what I'm doing, so this could be the wrong way to do this, but we'll see how it turns out. All right, so, uh-oh, contaminated with the blue inside there. Darn it. Just got a couple that aren't filled in. And I think that that is done. So I am going to undo it. So it doesn't help that I got it outside of the stencil, right? Because really, if I want to use this as a background, I don't want those little marks. But that's why I'm, you know, this isn't me just trying it out for the first time. It looks pretty cool so far. I'm going to go ahead and let it dry without a heat tool. So I'm going to set it aside and I'll come back to it when it's dry and show you what I've got. And I'm going to go ahead and do the black cardstock next. But I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off, so I'll be right back. So before we move on to black cardstock, I just had that under the water for just a second, but of course it was still wet. It hadn't dried at all yet. And that is clean and dry and ready to go. So, since I was concerned about the amount of moisture in the Chroma glaze and how much the paper was absorbing, I decided that for the black cardstock, instead of doing regular black cardstock, I'm going to try a piece of Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press Black watercolor paper. I had this for a minute, haven't used it, haven't been doing a lot of watercoloring lately, but this seems like a great time to break it out. So this is this, and I'm not really sure where I got it. I think I might have gotten it locally at our art supply store, but you can find this brand online. So I'll go ahead and take a look for it though, and if I can find it, put it in the description box below. All right, so I like this one a little better, right? I can actually tape it down. And in theory, it's not going to, I'm not going to see the end of the, oh, well, you know what? Never mind what I just said. So the orientation doesn't matter that much. Let's do it this way. I like that. I'll just put another piece over here. And then I'll try to remember this time to not go over the side of the stencil. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of this. Ooh. Still not sure about how much of this stuff I should use, but this tub is a ton. When you see how far it goes, I don't know if I'm ever going to use all of this. But let me start here. And again, I'm not sure about the drying time for either of these, but I'm doing this, I took a lunch break today from work, can you imagine? And I am, uh-oh, I did it. I'm gonna go ahead and let these dry and come back later today. Hopefully they'll be dry. I could definitely hit them with the heat gun, but I'd like to, you know, since it's my first time using them, I'd like to actually see what the drying time is, and maybe the heat gun makes a difference to the way it dries, maybe it doesn't. So those are the things that I'm considering. And now I'm going to throw some blue on there. This purple one has a far more distinct smell than the blue one. I'm not sure if you're, you know, worried about that, but it's not bad. It's just that I can smell it. So get the rest of this with some blue. Whoop. Oops. Okay, I think that's done. Not a lot to look at yet, but we'll see how it looks when it dries. I wonder if I'm supposed to keep this little plastic thing in there. You know how the Stays On has a little plastic thing and you're supposed to keep it in there, and I always forget and throw it away? I'm just going to put that in there just in case. Maybe someone knows and can tell me in the comments if I'm supposed to keep that. Oops. Also, I'm just getting stuff everywhere now. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, that's pretty cool. Again, I just need a better reminder that I'm not supposed to go outside of the stencil. Of course, some stencils are larger and then some stencils aren't so close. The image isn't so close to the edge. But this is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see it, but there are quite a few of these little dots that have the blue and purple. So I really like the way that's looking so far. And I'm going to set these both to dry. And I'll be back. Okay, we're all dry. So, turned out pretty cool. Here's the on the white cardstock. And you can see where, I'm assuming because of the movement of the stencil and or because of the way the paper was absorbing the moisture, there's some running here. And I don't know if maybe if I stirred the paste up, it would do less of this, but I'm not sure how much you can see that. It is, some of the dots are bleeding, mostly on the purple. So I see cat hair. I'm still going to use it though. I'm still going to use it as a background for a card. So the black cardstock turned out way different than I expected it to. Apparently Chroma Glaze is translucent. It's not opaque. So this is how it dried. So I was very shocked to see that. I am going to still use it as background. I think it gives it a little texture, a little depth. So I'm going to go ahead and cut both of these down to put them on some cards. So I'm going to grab my trimmer and do that. So I'm going to use this on an A2 size card base. So I'm going to cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Let's see. It's about 6 inches across. I could potentially get 2 card bases out of this, but not necessarily with being like cutting off these things that are more like errors where it went outside the stencil. So let me see here. Maybe if we do it that way. 4. Let's try this. Okay, 4. Yeah. 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut away this section, I think, close to, but outside of the stencil line here. Just a tiny bit more. And cut that off. So now you can't even tell from the top. And let's see here. 4. Probably should have cut this off first, but I didn't. So go ahead, cut this section off. Looks a little better. And now this is going to be 5 1/4. 5 1/4. So here, if we even it up, let's see how much of that you can see. Looks like I want to cut a little more from the bottom here, maybe 1/8 of an inch, so that it looks like the mat, the card base has the same size frame around each side of the cardstock here. Oop, let's see. So when I do die cutting, I end up sometimes with some extras. So I keep them in this little container here. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to cover up this little spot here. It's going to kind of eyeball it. That goes right against the seam. Just a tiny bit of white poking out from the side there. And this guy. Card number 1, all done. Now this card base is a little darker than usual, but I think you can just use a regular blue or black pen in here and it'll be just fine. So I'm not going to put anything in there. And for our second one, just going to mat this on some white. Go ahead and cut it down. Ooh. So 4 inches. This is watercolor paper, so it did fray a little bit, but just gonna clean it up a little. Then let's see, I think I'm gonna slice the top off of this one and at 5 inches, no, 5 1/4. So I want this to come off. So let me cut that off and then see what it looks like. Five 1/4. There we go. There we go. So we got this guy here. I think I'll make it in this orientation. So you can, in the light, you can see the blue tint compared to the lavender. But I mean, barely. It looks kind of like a reflection. It just happens that I know that they started those colors, so I can see it a little bit. Let's see. So I went through some of my other sentiment strips and things, and I found from this Peppermint Christmas scrapbook.com sticker book a sentiment that says gratitude. It's this one here in the silver, and I think I'm going to use that. It's pretty small, but since there's a little bit going on in the back here, I think it'll look just fine. There's glue everywhere now, so I'm not sure what happened. Let's see what I can do here. I don't even know if you're supposed to actually touch this with your fingers. But go ahead and put that aside so I can clean it up. Here, it's the other one. That one's a little crooked. It's a little crooked. There we go. Check my orientation. Oh, what? Look what I did. I'm making so many errors today. Clean that up a little bit more. Another art glitter glue is going to dry clear and matte, so you may not even notice it. We could definitely put this on its side though and change where we're going to put this sticker. But I think I do like it right here. I think this is a great sentiment for a thank you card. It's right across the corner there. Let me even it up a little bit. I think there we go. Card number 2. Not bad, considering it's my first time using the Chroma Glaze. Okay, I just wanted to remind everybody that in my last video on Monday, I announced the giveaway for this bundle of, not that, Echo Park or Cartabella items, the Celebrate 6x6 pack, the ephemera, and the enamel dots. I don't know if this kind of gives a better impression of what the pages look like. It's super fun. It's Stephen Duncan, so it looks a little mod, which is my favorite. And so all you have to do is watch the video. It is the Let's Make a Book Celebration Part 2, or Celebrate Part 2. And then go ahead and make a note, or a comment, I mean, in the comments. And that giveaway closes on April 25th. So at the end of that day, I will close entries, and then the next day, I think I pull the winner using a random comment picker. I couldn't even think of what. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching another video. Don't forget, safety first.